Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel, guys. Hope you're all doing well and doing great. Today we are back with another video, and we have to start the other content of the enzyme activity, our enzyme chapter. As we have finished the first few points of the enzyme chapter, so we have to finish these points. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. The first thing that we need to understand in this content, that what is the activation energy. The activation energy is the energy that is required to start a reaction, or we can say that the minimum amount of energy that is required to start a reaction. For example, if a person is standing over here and he has or she has to reach over at this point, so it will take a lot of time. It needs a lot of time to reach at this goal or to reach at this point. So what? Because there is no enzymes are present. What going to happen if the enzymes are present? What going to happen if we include or if we participate, if the participation by the participation of the enzyme, what going to happen? It will take that less time and it will reach to this point. Why is that so? Just because of the enzyme, because there were no enzyme over here. यहाँ पर enzyme मौजूद नहीं थे, तो it takes a lot of time when we included or when we introduce the enzyme in that reaction, that it will speed up the reaction, because the function of enzyme to speed up the reaction, all the enzymes are protein which speed up the rate of reaction. किसी भी reaction को जल्दी करवाने के लिए, किसी भी reaction को फौरन से आपको result obtain करवाने के लिए, we need a catalyst or we need an enzyme in the body of living organism. And if you just wanted to take, otherwise if there is no enzyme, it will take million or trillion years to complete the reaction. So this is the phenomena of the activation energy, and before going to discuss all these points, we need to understand there are some enzymes are intracellular and some enzymes are extracellular. Intracellular enzymes are those which are working inside the cell, and extracellular are those which are working outside the cell. We can take an example of bacteria and fungi that is working outside the cell, that engulf the food and basically digest the materials. So bacteria and fungi can be the extracellular enzyme, whereas the intracellular enzyme, we can quote many other examples of the gastric juice, or we can quote the example of the protease enzyme or lipid enzyme. So let's get into the new topic, that is basically the temperature, effect of enzyme activity or effect of temperature on enzyme activity. Always remember that the enzyme will work best at its optimum temperature. Below the optimum temperature, it will slow down the rate of reaction, and above the optimum temperature, it will denature. What does denaturation mean? Denaturation means that the active site of that enzyme will change, and because of the change in the active site of an enzyme, it will not fix the substrate with that enzyme, with the specific site. The substrate will not fit into the active site of that enzyme. So once, if the substrate is not able to be bind with the active site of that enzyme, it will not catalyze the reaction and it will not form the enzyme, because substrate complex will not form and there will be no product will be produced. So this is the basic reason. Let me show you to the topic. Basically, let me clean the screen as well. So here as I have explained, that the enzyme will work best at its optimum temperature. Above the optimum temperature, it will denature, and denaturation means that the enzyme will stop working. Why they stop working? Because the shape and active site of an enzyme will be changed. This is the major reason. And there is another thing that you need to remember, that every rise in the 10 degree, every increase in 10 degree will increases or will double the rate of the reaction. And this is basically what sort of energy that is present in the molecule that will increase the rate of reaction. Then when the molecule will move, when we provide more temperature or when we increase the temperature, there will be the more collision, and this collision will be due to the kinetic energy. This collision will produce kinetic energy. So when there will be the increase in the collision, increases the kinetic energy and increases the rate of the reaction, and it only till reaches to the optimum temperature. Above the optimum temperature, whatever you want to do, you want to increase the temperature, the rate of reaction will not be increases. It will start denaturation, because there is no enzymes are present. The active site will change its shape, and it will not, the substrate will not fix into that active site of enzyme. Same is the phenomena with the pH, that the enzyme will work best at its optimum pH, and for the optimum pH for the enzyme activity is basically the 7, which is neutral. As we already know that below 7 it is acidic, above 7 it is basic, and at 7 it is neutral. We can quote an example of the temperature. I can give you an example of the temperature. For example, our body is working best at optimum temperature, which is 37 degrees centigrade. And what if the temperature of an environment will increase? What going to happen? Our body will start sweating, because it is above the optimum temperature, and our body will not, there is some changes is going to be happen in our body. What if going to happen if the temperature is below the optimum temperature? Our body will feel cold. So that's why our body will work best when the temperature is optimum, and there will be changes start happening if there is above the optimum temperature or below the optimum temperature. So hopefully this phenomena is clear. I can quote another important example related to your syllabus, and hopefully you can understand from this example that we can take an example of an egg, because egg contain a lot of protein. Our egg contain protein. So what we're gonna take? We're gonna take the part of the egg albumin, egg white basically. And what's going to happen, firstly egg white is basically in the liquid stage and it is colorless and it is transparent. What's going to happen if you're going to fry that egg, or if you're going to cook that egg, what's going to happen, it will convert it from solid liquid to solid state, and it will convert it from transparent to white color. Now the question is, can you switch its shape into the original position, back to the original position? Like, can you convert back into the transparent form, or can you convert back it into the liquid form or into the colorless form? No, you cannot. So this is what's going to happen, that the enzyme will work best at an optimum temperature. Above the optimum temperature, it will denature, it will change its shape. So, and the reaction will be stopped. So this is, hopefully this is clear now. So now we were at the point of the pH. So as I said that the enzyme will work best at its optimum pH. What it means, that below the optimum pH enzyme will stop working, and above the optimum temperature it will denature. That means it will inhibit the activity of the enzyme, and it will inhibit the rate of the reaction. For case of stomach, in case of stomach, the pepsin enzyme is present, which needs to digest the protein. So the best optimum pH for enzyme is basically the 2. So the best optimum enzyme activity for the basically for the pancreas is basically salivary amylase, and that is the 6. And there is another enzyme activity that works best at its optimum pH, which is 8. So make sure to understand that pH, that what's going to happen. There is another thing that we need to understand is substrate concentration. Substrate concentration में the phenomena is simple, that as we increases the substrate, the enzyme activity, this is the rate of reaction and this is the substrate concentration. As we increases the rate of substrate concentration, the rate of reaction will also increases, but at a certain limit. If we're going to increase the substrate concentration, there will be no effect on the rate of reaction. Rate of reaction के ऊपर कोई effect नहीं पड़ा अगर substrate concentration हम मजीद बढ़ाते भी जाएं. अगर optimum substrate concentration से आप substrate मजीद add on भी करते जाएं ताकि वो reaction को stop fastly perform करते जाएं, but there is no enzyme all further present. All the enzymes are binded with the active site of enzyme. All the substrate have combined with active site of enzyme. Then if you're going to add the further substrate and there is no enzyme and the active site is basically present, then what can happen, it will not further, substrate will not bind with the active site. Because there is no active site further available, and the substrate will freely move, and there is no effect on the substrate on the rate of the reaction. In simple words, what I have said, that if we increase the substrate concentration, the rate of reaction will also increases, but to a certain point, but to an optimum point. If we can increase the substrate concentration after the optimum point or a certain point, the rate of reaction, there will be no effect on the rate of the reaction. Okay? So it has been shown by this graph. So hopefully this is clear. This point is clear as well. And so the other thing that we need to understand is to check the progress of enzyme catalyzed reaction. Firstly, you have to measure the concentration of reactant or product, and then you have to measure the concentration of product depending upon the time taken. Then we have already discussed what are the intracellular enzymes that work within the cell. For example, in the aerobic respiration, it occurs in the mitochondria, and in case of extracellular enzyme, we can quote the example of bacteria and fungi, which is, we can say that the digestive enzyme, which is produced by the pancreas and are transported to the duodenum. So we have already discussed about the metabolic reactions, or those reactions which are basically taking place in the body of living organism. There are two types of anabolic and catabolic. We have already discussed these points. So the third thing that we need to discuss about investigation. Let me see. I guess this is the investigation. Yes, investigate and describe the effect of temperature and pH on enzyme activity. So what we're going to do, we can take a test of starch sample. We're going to take a starch sample, and what we're going to take, we're going to add iodine in that sample. And after iodine solution, as we already know, for the test of starch we need iodine, and we're going to add the iodine in that solution, and what's going to happen, it will turn blue or black. That means starch is present, but we have to check its rate of the effect of temperature on amylase activity. So if we have taken the starch solution, we added the iodine, and after iodine we have also added the amylase. Amylase is an enzyme which is used to digest the starch, and it is present in the buccal cavity. It is produced by the buccal cavity. The salivary amylase produces an enzyme. Saliva contain salivary amylase produces an enzyme which is called as the salivary amylase, and this salivary amylase is used to digest the starch into maltose, and then maltose is further converted into the monosaccharide form. So what going to happen after every droplet or after every drop of iodine solution, it will turn blue or black. But if we're going to add more iodine solution until no starch will be left and it will turn into the orange brown, the time will be required. Then the experiment will be repeated at different temperature. We increase the temperature, we gonna change the rate of the temperature, and once it reaches at the optimum temperature, that this reaction will be performed fastly. And okay, in simple words, what's going to happen to test the amylase enzyme is used to break down the starch. We're going to add the iodine solution and it will turn blue or black. So this going to happen, and then it means that the starch will be break down by the help of the amylase. But what you need to do, you need to note down record the time, as well as you need to repeat the experiment and increase the temperature, change the rate of the temperature, and you will see that the enzyme will work best at its optimum temperature, and it will it will break down the starch at its optimum temperature. जब जैसे जैसे आप टेम्परेचर बढ़ाएंगे, एंजाइम जो है वो फास्टली वर्क करेंगे और फास्टली जो है वो ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे स्टार्च की. That was all it, and it's hopefully now the content of the content of the entire syllabus is covered. We have covered the denaturation of every colloid, we have covered the pH of enzyme activity, and we have covered all of these things as well. So I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and Allah Hafiz.